Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. For this video we'll be going through an unboxing of the 1:32 imaginary skeleton Tyrannosaurus. And this particular kit was released by Bandai, as they usually are. And this set came out, kit came out back in 2021. So going through this and the subsequent Triceratops unboxing of the imaginary skeleton, I'll dare say series, because it seems to be forming its own series. Now I've seen a few people having built the Tyrannosaurus and the Triceratops, and it does look like a very interesting model. It's definitely probably taken some of the novelty of building plastic model kits of a dinosaur with the ease and simplicity of typical Bandai engineering, so consider me intrigued. So here we have the front of the box of the Tyrannosaurus imaginary skeleton set. Basically just a shot of the Tyrannosaurus skeleton in, I dare say, what would appear to be a bit of a museum type background. Not much to say about the front of the box. I mean, it's a skeleton, so it's doing exactly what it needs to do. In terms of the bottom of the box, we do have a decent shot of the length of the T-Rex skeleton. We do have some various blurbs, and some of the little boxes here are looking at some of the detailings that have been applied to the kit as per an actual real Tyrannosaurus skeleton. So there's some things about the upper jaw, lower jaw sockets, some of the detailing, different stress fractures on bones, and things like that. So I dare say this is probably going to be my equivalent of being a paleontologist, just doing it through a plastic model kit. We do have a blurb of the Tyrannosaurus, and there's just another blurb about a simulation of assembling a skeletal specimen, obviously at a more reasonable scale, and made out of plastic. That was the bottom of the box. Side of the box, just a rehash of the front. And in terms of the top of the box, now the Tyrannosaurus, it will have a included display base, which is very cool, and a clear stand, but I'm also assuming the pose will be a fixed pose, which, to be honest, is fine. It's a skeleton model that doesn't really need to be too intricate and posable. We do have some information about some booklets that will be included, which is pretty cool. And then lastly, we have some commentary about weathering and things like that. So I'm sure the kit itself will probably be maybe 2 tones of plastic, 3 at the very most. So being a skeleton kit, this is definitely a very good opportunity to do some weathering, painting and things like that to make use of the actual textures involved. So something to keep in mind. I probably won't go that far, but who knows? We'll see. Cracking open the inside of the box, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of runners, and it looks like we have the manuals at the bottom. So I'll open up these bags, and then we can have a better look at the included runners as well as the included manuals. And with everything now out of the box and the bags, here we have the front of the actual manual. So just another shot of the T-Rex itself, or Tyrannosaurus, since the actual word Rex hasn't really been used. Now there is a nice little label up here, basically saying it is a fixed pose skeleton plastic model, which is okay. But to be honest, I'm actually hoping that this imaginary skeleton line does take off a bit more. Just looking at the T-Rex, I'm already quite interested to see how this goes. Front of the manual, back of the manual. So we have some further images of the completed model itself on its diorama. A lot of these images and blurbs we did see on the top and bottom of the box. And then we have some more information about weathering. So this even goes as far as having a few steps regarding some of the actual weathering process itself. So it's definitely quite interesting. I'm actually quite intrigued to see what these actual items are. Weathering liners. Oh, there you go. A painting example created using Mr. Weathering liners, sold separately. I was not aware that such things existed, but then I usually just panel line my kit. So, yeah, there you go. There's actual pens out there to try to simplify some of that weathering process. We do have a color guide at the very bottom, which basically breaks down to black, sand brown, deep brown, white, and light grey. I suspect those are probably the actual pencil liners, etc. that we used. I guess so. Based on this image here of one of them, which looks like a grey, does have the number 08 on it, and the color guide does go PL08, so there you go. I'm sure there are other methods of weathering these kits as well, so it really just comes down to personal preference. There's the back. Now, okay, we'll look at the included parts list. So A through to F with 1G runner. There will be an extra booklet as well that we'll look at too. In terms of the build, pretty much your run-of-the-mill Bandai kit. So starting with the head, and I do like how it has this nice little diagram of the actual skeleton and highlighting what we're building, and some little interesting points about the actual build itself. The head definitely looks like it should be a very interesting build. It won't be too difficult, but similar to some of these other recent Plamo unboxings that I've done that have been a step away from Gunpla. Looking at this already, it's just one of those novelty builds that's a nice refreshing take that it isn't a bipedal robot. Neck, torso, chest and hands. Some very intricate details on building some of this. It does make me wonder if I actually want to try and separate some of these into individual containers like I usually do with other things, just looking at how this actual rib cage area is built. It's not super detailed, but it's different. I obviously don't want to confuse any parts of the ribs. So that finishes that, and then building the lumbar / tail section, and I dare say attaching that on, attaching the base, and then the base, or display base, to the base stand, to the skeleton and the head, and then lastly finishing off with the legs and the feet to wrap that all up into a very fixed pose. So yes, that would pretty much be your fixed pose of the Tyrannosaurus. It definitely looks like it would be interesting to put together, but whether I actually pre-snip everything out remains to be seen. So that was the manual. Now in terms of the extra guide, so here we have the front of the guide. In fact, so the front and the back of this little imaginary skeleton 1:32 Tyrannosaurus. So that actually looks pretty cool. I almost feel like if I'm going to build this, I should really be watching Jurassic Park at the same time. Moving into the actual guidebook itself, it will have dual Japanese and English, which is very cool. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this because it's definitely one of those, if you get this particular kit, yes, you will definitely have some interesting reading opportunities. So just looking through what's included, we do have some fairly wordy little points about the actual Tyrannosaurus skeleton, the anatomy and things like that. And there's some more information as well. And I'm assuming probably snippets of text from the team that probably put this together. This would be this bottom part. There you go, some further details. So it'd be interesting to see if the Triceratops has one of these. I hope it does. And yeah, it looks like it will be a very interesting read, a very supplemental read. So that's the little guide that was included as well. Now, as for the actual kit itself, so starting with the A runner, so all of these runners will basically be in a bit of a dark brownish color, but you can definitely see what it means by replicating some of that detailing. Just looking at the parts of the lower jaw, upper jaw / head, there's some very nice detailed options in there, so it's definitely one of those things that have been done really, really nicely. I definitely wouldn't be panel lining this for sure, but the detailing is quite something. So that is the A runner. Moving on to the B runner. So it looks like this will be probably the lower tail, maybe bits of the little spine area, but I suspect probably more of the lower body. But even some of these spinal pieces, you can even see the actual texturing in the bone, which is in itself just also remarkable as well. That's the B runner. C runner. The D runner. I'm assuming these are the actual little hands. Emphasis on little. And these are probably sides of the upper legs. That's the D runner. Moving into the E runner. Now, looking at this is probably the one time I'd be very inclined to actually not pre-snip anything out. Now, I'm sure there's probably easy ways to re-identify things, but I don't think it's worth it. So this could be one of the few kits in a while that I just keep on the runners until I actually build it. So that was the E runner. The F runner, which is pretty much a solid display base and is very, very detailed as well. I feel like this is definitely something that would need to be painted because some of this is probably foliage. But then again, it's hard to say because it is supposed to be representing a bit of a skeletal fossil type situation, but I do like the footprints in the ground. Yeah, definitely feel like I should build this while watching a Jurassic Park movie. That was the F runner. And then lastly, we have a G runner, which is just in clear, and that's pretty much your base stand. So that brings us to an end of the unboxing of the 1/32 imaginary skeleton Tyrannosaurus. Definitely very interesting. Now, I've always enjoyed dinosaurs even from a younger age, so this is actually going to be something that might even tickle my fancy in a few extra places because yeah, it's a bit of a, when I was a small child, yeah, I was a huge fan of dinosaurs, so yes, definitely looking forward to this. and I definitely think I will just have to keep it on the runners and build it when the time comes, but it will definitely be a refreshing type build. In fact, I'm thinking between how much Complar I have and non-Complar, might even be one of those things that you build, 3 or 4 Complar and then build something that's not Complar for the sake of having a bit of a refreshing take on things. So this may be a bit of that intermediate break when the time comes. Now, because I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, at least I don't remember if I did grab this from Hobby Link Japan, so there will be a product link to the Tyrannosaurus in the description box, and I'll probably just throw in a extra link to the wider range of these kits, which is basically going to be the Tyrannosaurus and the Triceratops from memory. Thank you very much for watching this unboxing video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link below. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. See ya.